Favourite venue? That's a difficult question because I've got so many. I'm enormously attached to the Forum in Tunbridge Wells because I sort of went to school there, effectively. It's the reason I do what I do now. And having moved to Manchester, I found the same sort of vibe at Night and Day, and everything played its first 5 shows there as well. I love the Bodega, what used to be the Social in Nottingham. Played a lot of really good gigs there. I love the Thekla in Bristol. There are so many, they're all over the shop as well. It doesn't really matter where it is or what it is, it's about the people that make the space, really. The venues themselves are indispensable because it's the bedrock of everything that comes beyond it, and the entire industry relies on that, which is why more recognition from the wider industry and from the top tier of the industry needs to happen. More funding, frankly, needs to happen, because if you take away the grassroots, the whole thing is going to topple. I think artists probably owe the smaller venues that same recognition that they were given on their way up. And a lot of artists are really passionate about it, but it could be more widespread. And it's a great thing to do, to come back to a smaller room and play where you can see the whites of their eyes. And if you're a bigger band, it's a really reassuring thing to do, I think, to go back to basics like that. It's also a great way to test new material. It's a really different visceral experience to play to a small number of people really close to them than it is to play the Enormodome. I think just a wider recognition of the value, both the cultural value, which we've already mentioned, but the social value that these spaces provide, because they do actually also provide somewhere for people to go and belong and meet like-minded people and form bands and ideas that maybe the more traditional institutions like sports clubs or school or whatever, they don't necessarily provide that for everybody. And I didn't really feel like I was thriving as a teenager until I went to see some bands, and then I did that every day. I'm really glad that Steve's talking about it as much as he is. He's been a really passionate advocate of what these type of venues provide culturally and socially, and he obviously really enjoys it as well. That's the other thing. It's an amazingly good night out, and he really enjoys that. He's not found anything to better it in his life, and I think we should probably trust it. A day like today is great because people can share experiences, pool their knowledge. The fact that the Venue Alliance, the MVA, has grown so enormously in the last couple of years is not insignificant. It's really great that the venues feel like more of a confederation now. It's more of a cooperative thing. It's not a competitive thing in the slightest. Everybody recognises that they're in the same boat and that they rely on one another.